Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the first round of the DTM Trophy 2021. We are here at Monza, a beautiful Monza, might I add. A little bit overcast, which means the track temperature is going to be pretty perfect for these drivers. And while we have got a BMW front row, and it's the old guard versus the new guard. Ben Green, last season's junior champion, he is indeed the top of the tree in terms of qualifying with the BMW. And then Moritz Lerner, new to the championship, qualified for the DTM Trophy by winning the DTM Esports, getting a test, them liking him in the test series and getting a drive 2 days ago. Yes, should be a very interesting race indeed. And that is your pole sitter. Been here, done it, got the wins, managed to get a race win in round 2 last season at Spa. That was his only race win of the season. Here is then your front row of Moritz Lerner as well. Thumbs up. Telly looks a little bit nervous there, but he's young. He's fine. He'll get it done. P3 on the grid then. For such a young driver, he is very experienced indeed. It's Will Tregurtha. 2016 Ginetta Junior champion. British GT4 sprint champion as well. Knows how to get the wins, that's for sure. Joining him on the front row then, he was the man to beat in free practice 1, and since then has just dropped off ever so slightly. But it's Michael Schrey in the second row. The BMWs are very strong here. That is for certain. Simone Riccitelli then is in 5th position on the grid. The Italian stallion. And then everybody's favorite Belgian. It's always a Belgian. It's Nico Verdonk. He will start on the 3rd row of the grid in the Toyota Supra for Ring Racing. Starting out your 4th row on the grid, then it's Jan Zimmer for FK Performance Motorsport. The Swiss driver will start in 7th position. I do see a few of you asking in the YouTube chat at what point the race will start. We are due to start in around about 6 minutes' time. Theo Uverhaus, German driver for Volkenhorst Motorsport. He will start in P8. Reinhard Koffler, the Austrian, for True Racing by Reiter Engineering. He is in the KTM Expo. Tenth on the grid then, Christopher Rink for Hoffer Racing by Bonk Motorsport. And by the looks of things, there is a car missing, and Adam Christodoulou has had problems all weekend. Didn't manage to get any laps done in free practice 1 or 2. Qualifying, it didn't go well, and well, it looks like the car's got more issues and is not going to be starting this race. Matthias Solonen for CV Performance. He will start in 12th position. Effectively 11th, but it will be 12th on the grid. They will not indeed shuffle the pack up. Philipp Stolschmidt did a few races last season. Good to see him here from the start. He will start in P13. An absolute stacked grid of talent. Should be a fantastic championship. So there's Chandler Hull then for Volkenhorst Motorsport from the United States of America. a US touring car champion as well. There's Stolschmidt once again. Hoffel Racing by Bonk Motorsport again. And it would appear we've got another car that is missing off of the grid. And is that Heinemann? We haven't seen Heinemann. I think it's Mathiasen. So Mathiasen. Well, that's not Chandler Hole. There's no one there. So it might be Mathiasen. Stefan Cox, the ring racing driver in the Supra. All of these drivers will be very, very nervous. Is David Sherban then, was a permanent fixture in the championship last season. Didn't really hit the heights, but looked pretty good today. Probably the best we've seen him so far, the Romanian. Can he put together a respectable championship run this season? Who knows? For Helipagid Racing 1, David Sherban, our only Romanian on the grid. Another Expo then, the number 25, Laura Krahamer for True Racing by Reiter Engineering. The big advantage of having the KTM Expo is you can just completely open up the car before you get going, thus keeping cool. Well, keeping as cool as you can with a full race suit, fireproof race suit and helmet on. And my dark horse coming into this championship, Lucas Mauron, who was the form driver at the end of last season. He won 3 out of the final 4 rounds, but unfortunately just has not found that pace here at Monza. And then we've got 2 cars left at the back then. We have got Wiebahn and Hoffmann. So it looks like Heinemann and Mathiasen, neither are starting. Along with Christodoulou. So all 3 drivers for the same team not racing. So there is Sophie Hoffmann. We'll start from the back. Could be an advantageous position to be in. And then Wiebahn. Very excited to be here by the looks of things. Great to see the German for Heider Motorsport on the grid. Looks like we've got 2 minutes then before we do indeed take on our first lap. The formation lap, and then it's 30 minutes of racing plus 1 lap. So qualifying has already happened. Ben Green took 3 points for qualifying P1. Moritz Lerner took 2 points for qualifying P2, and Will Tregurtha took 1 point for qualifying in P3. The points, though, are as follows in this race. First will receive 25 points, second will get 18, third will get 15, fourth will get 12, fifth will get 10, sixth will get 8, seventh will get 6 points, eighth will get 4, ninth will get 2 points, and 10th will get 1 point. All last season, all of this season thus far, it's taken the cars genuinely 2 laps to get the tyre temperatures up. So you're going to see all of these drivers working the tyres as hard as they can. The first few laps are really where the main action happens. If you can get a couple of overtakes, you're absolutely spot on. And that's indeed going to be all about how hard these drivers can work the tyres early. Right, we have got ourselves maybe 30 seconds before we start our formation lap. And well, I'm going to ask the question then. In the YouTube chat, I'm watching you right now. There are 1,600 people watching right now. Where are you watching from around the world, and who are you supporting? It could be a car manufacturer, it could be a team, it could be a driver, but let me know where you're from and indeed why or who you are watching. All in single file then. As you can see, the heat haze in the background, very warm here at Monza. It is overcast, but the track temperature is very warm indeed. Oh, we got USA, Ohio, Australia, nice. Germany, oh, here we go. Now the whole world is letting us down. Island Sava from Romania supporting Sherban, nice. Germany and BMW, nice. We've got lots of Moritz fans, some Malaysians in the chat. Philippines, Netherlands, UK, a lot of Australians. This is great. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome to the DTM Trophy season number 2. Last season was incredible. This season should prove to be even better. We've got more cars. And for me, I would say an even stronger grid. Last season's grid was strong, but this season, I think, is even stronger. I think we could be in for an absolute cracker. Couple that with the nature of Monza and the slipstreaming, it's going to be very difficult for any cars to build any substantial gaps. If any of you do have any questions, you can tweet me at ActRollVision on Twitter. So if anyone wants to send me a question during the stream, because the chat does move really fast, so I can't read most things, then send me a tweet at ActRollVision, and I will try and answer you. Here we go. Tipsy, thank you. Enjoy the race then, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it on. We're here at Monza. Out of the Lesmos, they've all come up towards Ascari. Ascari's been very tricky over this weekend, but because we've just had the Lotus Europe Cup, the Porsche Carrera Cup, Deutschland, and indeed DTM, the oil that's been spread there twice this week is probably dispersed. So we may even see the fastest lap this weekend so far from these drivers, even with full tank of fuel. So here we go then, they form up 2 by 2. 30 minutes of racing here then at Monza. So we are looking at around about 15 laps, 16 laps, maybe 17. But we have got ourselves only one corner to go. Moritz Lerner, the inexperienced driver of the two at the front. Is he going to be able to shock Ben Green here and potentially make a move around the outside? If he's going to make a move, he's got to make it stick. Pace car comes in. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. It's round 1 here at Monza. It is Ben Green then on the left-hand side, the number 10 on your screen. We've got the number 11 then of Moritz Lerner to now our left-hand side of the screen. In behind them then, it is indeed Tregurtha. And then in behind them, it is Michael Schrey. And well, it's all now up to Ben Green. When those lights go green, he is off and running. And while we are eagerly anticipating this, 30 minutes of racing. Look at the red lights at the top of your screen. And we are green light racing here then in the DTM Trophy 2021, and it's a long run down in towards turn number 1. And I'll tell you what, Moritz Lerner's got the best of this. He really does. Can Michael Schrey potentially make it 3 wide? He will not. Ben Green then has to go nice and tight here through the entrance of turn number 1. Lerner's got the overlap, but he's going to get hustled out here for sure. He was through there very cautiously indeed. Michael Schrey bouncing over the sausage curb there. We've got then a KTM Expo in the background. I think that's Laura Krahamer into the gravel. Lucas Mauron in the Audi in the background also went through the gravel as well. Looks like everybody else has got through relatively well indeed. You can see the medical car in the background. It's all good in the hood. Michael Schrey then trying to battle here with William Tregurtha down in towards that second chicane on the exit of Curve Grande. And Schrey has got to be committed here as the camera will indeed stop. But no, Schrey's got him. Schrey's going to run out a little bit wide here. And well, can Will Tregurtha potentially get the overlap on the inside up towards the Lesmo? The front two are off on their way on their own here. And they're going to go through side by side. Then can Tregurtha hold the inside line? He does initially lose the rear ever so slightly, just trying to get that power down too early. Schrey squeezes Tregurtha onto the apex here, but Schrey's going to run wide. He is going to run wide. It's almost going to be 3 wide then between them all. Crazy action here as we come up then towards the Ascari chicane, and it is Michael Schrey that leads them up the hill. And again, Tregurtha is going to have to go the hard way around here, but if he can get an overlap, he has the inside line on the exit of Ascari. It's like a car park then coming up towards Ascari. And Will Tregurtha then has been very committed here. And I tell you what, he's absolutely pinned that move. Up to P3 then for Tregurtha. Schrey then momentarily had P3, but loses out as they come down the back straight towards Parabolica. What a lap that has been from those drivers there particularly. It's been great for Ben Green, it's been great for, indeed, Moritz Lerner, but Schrey and Tregurtha, they're already going to be sweating here. And Schrey then, with that power advantage in a straight line of the BMW, he's actually going to run a little bit wide here. Needs to get that car tucked back in, otherwise potentially going to lose P4. But at the end of lap number 1, Ben Green then has survived here. Moritz Lerner will take P2. And Will Tregurtha holds on to P3, but I tell you what, he's going to be under pressure down into towards turn 1 once again. Michael Schrey then pulls out left here, and is he going to be able to get that overlap down in towards turn number 1? Moritz Lerner then, you can see here, trying to get into the slipstream, on the brakes pretty late here. Michael Schrey now is going to try and force Tregurtha onto the apex. The AMG then late on the brakes here and actually gets across, blocks the bonnet then of that BMW, and well, jobs are good in so far, but again, we've now got a long run down towards that second chicane. We've got Curve Grande, where the slipstreaming is absolutely insane. What a start to this race. What a great start to this race. So the front two have kind of really got away with this here. Ben Green will be loving this. He didn't have a good start to round 1 last season. It took until round 2 for him to really get going in the season. And you can see here the Expo trying to make a very late lunge up the inside there and actually gets the job done. Superb stuff then. Superb stuff indeed. As they come then up towards the Lesmos. Wow, this has been a very clean race thus far. So we've seen a couple of people go off into the gravel. That's just, you know, turn 1 at Monza. It's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. I tell you what, Moritz Lerner is not letting Ben Green go here, and he's got the added bonus really that there's no one pressuring him from behind, so he can kind of learn his trade as he's going. He's got the least amount of experience with this car specifically than anybody else on this grid. So, you know, he is just going to be able to sit behind Ben, maybe learn some things from Ben. Again, Ben is a seasoned veteran now in the DTM Trophy, and then potentially go and attack him moving forward. So Tregurtha is in P3 then, Schrey in P4, Riccatelli P5 then. So good stuff from all of those drivers as it stands. Then we've got Jan Zimmer in P6, Nico Verdonk, again, it's always a Belgian, in P7, Theo Uverhaus is in P8, Reinhard Koffler then is in P9. Then we've got the two BMWs then of Rink and Stolschmidt, the number 3 and number 4 in P10 and P11. Salonen then is up to P12, and V-Barnes moved up to P13. So V-Barn, who was all the way down the back of the order, has moved up into P13. Cox up to 14th position, and well, the big losers in this situation really is Gerban. So Gerban then at the back of the order as it stands. Is there some lunges potentially going on in the background? No, it looks like everyone's being pretty well behaved. Lerner just runs a little bit wide on the exit of the first chicane, but ultimately gets it tucked in nicely in the end. And again, it's like a learning curve. This is the best way to learn. Like, legitimately, Moritz Lerner 2 days ago had no idea he would be racing in the DTM Trophy. He won the opportunity to test a DTM Trophy car because he won the DTM Esports on Race Room. And now he is battling with Ben Green, who again is a race winner in this championship. He's the junior champion from last year when we had a junior and an XP category in this championship. He's now battling him for the victory. We've got two Audis then at the background here. David Gerban being one of them, Sophie Hoffman being the other. So here we go then. So initially the first phase here, Ben Green gets off the line so well, but the second phase from Lerner, it almost looked like he was going to be able to put some sort of move on Ben Green, but then realized, you know what, this is turn 1 at Monza, runs a little bit wide, and Ben Green, well, don't give him a second opportunity. He absolutely swung it across the bonnet of Lerner and goes, if you're going to make the move. Schrey with a big mistake, he runs over the sausage curbs on the entrance, and ultimately, he won't get a penalty for that. It is turn in that situation, you know? So, yeah, it is Ben Green that leads the way. Lerner. So, yeah, some fantastic racing. Fantastic racing far. Got ourselves around about 24 minutes to go here. board with one of the Audis at the back end of the from the position as it stands. Michael Schrader then in fourth. Michael Schrader, someone that we expected to be right up the front here, kind of, I guess, working his way into this slowly, ultimately, considering where we thought he would be. As we indeed then come on the exit of the Lesmos. So here we go, near the back of the field here, and again, you can just see it's just so much closer than it was last season. Last season, there were so many gaps between the drivers. It was, I don't know, there's a big disparity between the fastest driver and the slowest driver, which is not the case this season. And Lucas Mauron then just trying to find an overlap around the outside then of what would be Matthias Salonen in that AMG. Salonen will be thinking, look, you know, Tregurtha's in third position right now. I've got the same car, should be there or thereabouts there, so he'll be a little bit disappointed with where he is on the circuit as it stands. But Lucas Mauron, he knows how to make an overtake. Again, three-time winner in this championship last year. And he's going to have to go the long way round then at Parabolica. What's your grip levels like here, Mauron? And how much power can you get laid down here? Do you trust the rear of that car? Hit that green bit of paint on the left-hand side of the track. Use the curbing as well. And I'll tell you what, he's kept it in. He's kept his foot in here beautifully well. The AMG does have a little bit of slipstream there with the Expo, but I think this move might potentially be done. But actually now you can see the AMG coming back here then, side by side, as you can see the pit line there taking effect. They've got to be no worries about the pit lane there. No one's going to be coming out of the pits. And wow, Lucas Mauron, how late do you dare go on the brakes here? As they come through side by side, Salonen realised that Mauron didn't really want to commit to that through turn one, got across the bonnet of his car, forced him to not be able to make the overtake, and well, holds on to that position. But ultimately, they've just lost a load of time to the drivers in front here, which is Koffler. So Koffler now is off into the sunset, maybe got half a second to play with here. Lucas Mauron still underneath that rear wing of the AMG. He's going to go for it here. We know how aggressive Mauron is. And, well, late on the brakes here, nobody home. Is he going to get the move done on the exit? He does. And that is a little bit naughty for me. Aggressive, to say the very least. And I think Salonen might be a little bit displeased with that. As we come through the entrance then of the Lesmos. And, well, there's almost contact there between Salonen and, by the looks of things, Wiebahn. So Wiebahn having to get his foot out of it as well. I think he's running wide anyway. A little bit of gravel being kicked up. No, looks like they kept it all in check there. And well, again, we know Lucas Mauron's aggressive, but that was borderline spectacular, but also borderline on the naughty side for me. So we are nearly a third of the way through this race as it stands. Salonen there is just going for a little ride. All four wheels off the ground, as you do. Why not? And you've got to be careful with the chicane as well. You can see all four wheels did indeed go past the white line there for that Audi, and that will indeed cause you a little bit of grief. Verdonk versus Theo Uverhaus. And the Supra then in a relatively good spot today. Say the front drivers are pretty close, and actually you can see that Tregurtha is starting to close in the two drivers at the front. Ben Green and Moritz Lerner, though, well, I think we're about to have a little duke out here in round number one. Say, Moritz Lerner was very, very timid going into turn number one, very respectful. I think if he gets a second opportunity at this, he's not going to be quite so respectful. And now you can see that all three of them are slipstreaming each other. It's good to see the two different manufacturers are at the front. But yeah, it does look like the BMW is superbly strong around Monza. And it was very much a power strong car last season. It did struggle more at the more technical circuits. Oh, there's a bit too much curb there for Ben Green. Although, with his experience with the car, he knows that that car can chomp over curbs, not even a problem. Doesn't lose too much time. You can just see that Lerner is just, again, a little bit more timid with the car. Doesn't really know the limits of what the car can achieve. And as you can see here, Lucas Mauron is trying to make yet another move here then. Reinhard Koffler for what would be P11. Takes the inside line through the entrance of Lesmo. He's going to run out a little bit wide here. But I tell you what, he's now going to be under pressure on Salonen. Salonen gets defended against then from the Expo. And these three are giving it absolutely... It's like the final race of the season already. You've got another race tomorrow, lads. So underneath the tunnel they come, and again you'll see that tunnel camera a few times today, and maybe if you've never been to Monza before, similarly to myself, you'd just be like, oh, this is a really wide open circuit. When you look at the camera underneath that tunnel, you realize quite how narrow the run up towards Ascari really is. Perfect vantage point there for the photographer. You'd love to see that. And here we go. Moritz Lerner is actually not close to Ben Green. He's under pressure here from Will Tregurtha. So the German is the meat in a British sandwich right now with Tregurtha and Ben Green in P1 and P3. And is Lerner going to be under pressure here? Down then in towards turn number 1, and I just don't think Will's quite got that straight line pace. But you can see Moritz Lerner closes that gap then. On the exit of Parabolica down towards turn number 1, hugely closes that gap. But Tregurtha through the corners, that AMG is an absolute whippet. So we are heading towards the halfway point of this race then. As Ben Green still leading this race, Lerner in second, Tregurtha in third. Schrey is in fourth position then. So after lap number 1, where Tregurtha and Schrey were swapping paint, that's for sure. More than that, it was crazy action from them two. It was almost like it was the final lap of the race, not the first lap of the race. But they indeed did settle down, and Schrey, you can see, just off the pace here now in P4. Just in behind them, then we've got Riccatelli, which is now trying to potentially battle for a top 4 if he can close in on Schrey. Schrey may be struggling for a little bit of pace. Jan Zimmer then finds himself in P6. Theo Uverhaus has got past Verdonk. Verdonk then is in the first of our Toyota Supras, and that is your top 8 as it stands. So the run back up then into the Ascari chicane, and it looks like Lerner has lost a position then, so Tregurtha did get the job done. So when the camera panned away to P4, we didn't quite see that, but yes, it is now the AMG up to P2 and off to chase down Ben Green. So now, are we about to see the overtake here? Was there a mistake, potentially? So we see Ben, no, that's not Ben Green, is it? That's Theo Uverhaus taking so much curb there. But again, the BMWs can get away with it. The BMWs can indeed get away with it. So yeah, we once we panned over to P4 for a little bit, Tregurtha managed to get the job done. And I think right now, for my money, 15 minutes, 40 seconds to go, I think Tregurtha may have the pace here to go out and win this race. Lerner might be worth just sitting behind Tregurtha, get dragged along here. We know what the BMWs were like last season in terms of tyre wear. The last 10 minutes of the race, they were a bit of a dog. So potentially that could be the same factor here this weekend as well. But Tregurtha has found some serious form here. Here we go. Oh, there's a mistake then. So into the Lesmo 1. Just a little slide there, and that is a big enough invitation. That's like telling me there's a birthday party with cake and sausage rolls. I am not turning that down. And Will Tregurtha is not turning down a position here. And, well, Lucas Mauron. Well, that's a line. And that looks like a potential failure. Yes, it is. And it's another rear left puncture. So that's a blowout there. Depending on if there's any damage to the car and any of that rear left arch is on the track somewhere, we may get a safety car. Oh, that isn't good. That is not good. So if that carcass of that tire lands anywhere on the track here, I would imagine we would be heading for a safety car. I will keep you posted. So right now it's still green flag racing, but Mauron was the most unfortunate driver in the championship last season. And, well, looks like that misfortune is indeed going to continue here. And, yeah, wow, there is parts of that car somewhere on the track, because that is absolutely blown the whole left side of it out. It's like a grenade's gone off. Here we go. Now we're about to see, look at that damage. Yeah, so I reckon we're going to have a safety car hit. I'd be very surprised if we don't. That's on a very fast part of the circuit. We will indeed have yellow flags waved, of course. 13 minutes, 50 seconds to go. And you can see that it's not really safe for the marshals to be running across track to be gathering all of the debris. As they come through, though, the front three are very, very close. And this is where all of the leftover parts of the car are. Oh dear. Stefan Cox then. Whereabouts on track is this? Whereabouts on track is this? Is that on track? I think it is, yeah. Is that out of Ascari? I think that might be out of Ascari. So now double yellow's being waved, and now we will have a safety car. I'm pretty sure of it. So we're still green flag racing now. And there is the safety car. See, that just, yeah. We had the same thing happen in the Lotuses this morning. What do you call a group of Lotuses? Is it Lotusi or Loti? Or is it Lotuses? I don't know. But yeah, we had very similar in terms of the puncture and half the car hanging off. And well, the same is here again. Yeah, that's just dangerous, you know. You don't want that kicked up and then going through someone's windscreen. It may look light there, but ultimately, yeah, ultimately you do not want to have that fling up into your windscreen, that's for sure. But we have got a safety car here, so it looks like we will have a last 10-minute sprint. Stefan Cox then got the car going again. So yeah, it was just out of Viscari, right? Yeah, it was. Just stopped on the left-hand side, and there's not been too much luck for the Supras. Complete standstill there, so not sure how long that's going to take to recover. Safety car then has stopped, and we'll wait to pick up the field. So welcome everybody to the broadcast. If you're watching on YouTube right now, 2.4K people watching the DTM Trophy. I'm glad you're all as enthused as I am. I love this championship. It's even better than last season, and last season was exceptional. I can read the chat, so if there's any questions, you might as well send them right now while we've got this safety car. And this is your opportunity now to just give a shout out to your driver, right? I want to support Stefan Cox, but unfortunately they're now out of the race, but it's now your chance, isn't it? Yeah, depending on how long it takes. The Supra's off the circuit. Mauron's car I don't think is in a dangerous position. I think it is just a case of getting all of the car bits off the circuit. That was the danger here. All of the car bits. Is Mauron's car. Yeah, we need to camera to pan out really to kind of figure out whereabouts the car is. And again, Stefan Cox. It's going to be gutted with how this has gone. But the beauty of the DTM Trophy is there's 2 rounds a weekend. So we've got a race tomorrow. Chance to indeed rectify this tomorrow, whether it be a driver error or indeed a mechanical error. Very much looks like a mechanical error because the car isn't moving. But there's always a chance to indeed rectify it tomorrow for the team, for the drivers. So yeah, that's good. So the weekend isn't over, that's for sure. So here we go. We're going to now watch Mauron, and that's already gone, hasn't it? Yeah, there we go. The loss of pressures, and then the wheel just explodes, or the tyre just explodes then. Not much can be done there, and we've seen that now 3 times this weekend. 3 times this weekend now. The rear left is gone on cars. So yeah, not ideal, especially for, you know, what will be only a 30-minute race. But again, getting that car fixed and ready for tomorrow, like the team that Mauron has behind him is incredible because they've managed to put a car that was engulfed in flames last season back together, ready for the next day. So I'm pretty sure they'll be in a race tomorrow, but will it be a quick car? That's the big question. Have they got enough time to get the car quick again? There's the Manitou then. Take this Audi away. Well, 8 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Perfect photo opportunity then, as you can see here. Support of Theo Overhaus. Malta Trispel. Nice. The Shark supporting Nigel Mansell. Yeah, you're a few decades late, bud, but welcome. And it looks like Mauron's car is going to be out of the way. This is the final race of the day as well, today. And then we're all back tomorrow for the final races of the weekend. So the safety car is indeed going to come in this lap. So there we go. So for me, I think we've got 4-lap sprint here. 4 laps sprint. And now under safety car conditions, it's not, green will not have to wait for the lights to go green. Green will make the decision on his own now. So he'll back the pack up. And I tell you what, Will Tregurtha looks super, super fast in terms of his pace prior to the safety car. Is he going to be able to indeed put that pressure on Ben Green and go out and get his first victory on his debut? So he'll be relatively happy with a P2 on his debut, that's for sure, especially on a track where the BMWs are just so dominant within this class of car. But then they've got Moritz Lerner as well, so Ben Green needs to be very, very clever here because he knows that Lerner may get the slingshot as well, so he doesn't want to be giving any inch of room to the 2 cars behind. But as it stands, then it is Ben Green in P1, Tregurtha is in P2, Moritz Lerner, and then we've got Michael Schrey in P3 and P4. Riccatelli then is in P5, Jan Zimmer in P6, Theo Uverhaus in P7. Christopher Rink will be in P8. We've got Stahlschmidt in P9, and then we've got Salonen in P10. That's your top 10 as it stands. Top 10 score points, 25 points for the win, all the way down to 10th, you get 1 point. So you'll see that maybe Reinhard Koffler will try and make a move. Wiebahn, who was at the back of the grid today, is up to P12. For me, if I had to pick a driver of the day, I would be picking Wiebahn in the Audi for P12. Huge improvements in the race. So here we go then, pace car coming into the pits now. And it's up to Ben Green then, that number 10 car, to take them away. The AMG then, the number 85 in P2. And when will Ben decide to take them away? You go too early, you give the car behind all of the slipstream in the world. You go too late, then you don't get far enough ahead in towards turn number 1. Again, they've got to wait for that car to come in. Michael Schrey here is trying a staggered start by the looks of things. Who's got the reactions then? Tregurtha. Tregurtha's just been caught out there. So you just saw the red lights on the back of his car. He went early and he had to get on the brakes here. Now he's under pressure from Moritz Lerner. So Tregurtha, with all the experience he's got, has made a big, big mistake here. Across the line they come. And we're seeing moves being made here as Uverhaus is trying to get a move done as well. It almost goes 3 wide as Michael Schrey. Moritz Lerner, he's going for the lead here. He's got the overlap on Ben Green. Ben Green gets across, but Lerner back up to P2. And look at Tregurtha though, bit of a rear slip away then from Lerner. He's going to give up the position, I think, to Tregurtha once again. They're going to go through here side by side. And is that power advantage going to work out here for Moritz? I think it is. And Schrader does indeed hold on to P4. Look at this though, and behind Riccatelli is battling his absolute heart out with Zimmer and with Theo Uverhaus as they come then in towards that second chicane. You know what safety cars breed? They breed safety cars. And well, I tell you what, that's one way of going through that corner there, and they've almost caught up to Michael Schrey there. They'll both have to give up some time there for sure. I'm pretty sure they'll both end up getting a penalty for that, you know, because they gain so much time on the car behind them. Tregurtha senses an opportunity to win this race, but has lost out to Moritz Lerner once again. Lerner had a phenomenal restart here. Tregurtha, not so much. He made a slight mistake, so Tregurtha's tried to go early, and then he's got on the brakes, and he's just lost complete momentum, because as soon as he hit the brakes, Ben Green went, and Lerner was able to get the jump then onto Tregurtha. Fantastic restart, though, from everybody. Very exciting restart, that's for sure. But yeah, Schrey then holding on to P4. I think Riccatelli's moved up into... yeah, he is P5 here, sliding that car around. But then we've indeed got Uverhaus, who's moved up to P6 then, so he has got past his Jan Zimmer. He's got past the Swiss driver, Jan Zimmer. But is he going to be able to hold on to that position, though? That is the big question. As it comes down towards Parabolica, and they know now that it is pretty much going to be a 3-lap sprint race here. And who comes out on top? Well, nobody knows at this stage. Ben Green's done everything he can as it stands. He's led this from start to finish. He's been under a little bit of pressure, but every time he's been asked a question, he tends to have the answer. The number 50 car then of Jan Zimmer trying to make the move here on Theo Uverhaus, or Uverhaus, should I say. And I think you'll find Uverhouse is going to hold on around the outside. Yeah, he does. Beautiful stuff. Everybody has really closed up. Michael Schrey now tempted here by a potential podium with Will Tregurtha. So Tregurtha's starting to struggle here. AMG in an absolute sea of BMWs. And I'm sure everybody at home's just hoping that he holds on for the podium. Here's the restart then. So you can see that Tregurtha on the left-hand side of the screen with the lights on at the front is just dropping so much time to Lerner. Lerner goes around the outside, but look how late Lerner goes on the brakes. I think he gets ghosted by Schrey here, and he almost makes an accidental overtake. He nailed the braking, didn't run out of track at all, and he almost got the accidental overtake there. But I just think Michael Schrey appearing in his rearview mirror has kind of ghosted him into braking late. So yeah, Michael Schrey's pressure and presence has caused that potential there. So as we come through the chicane here, and this is where you see indeed the two BMWs cut the corner. And I'm wondering again, nothing's flashed up in terms of race director for the penalty. And you see here that Lerner, then that's where he went defensive. And I'll tell you what, Moritz Lerner is very close now to Ben Green. So I reckon Lerner's saved his tyres. Lerner has saved his tyres here. Ben Green, he struggled on his tyres last season at the end of races. Has Lerner been able to save anything here? Has he learned something from watching last season? Is Tregurtha going to potentially get in and amongst it for a top 2, maybe a P1? As we come down towards Parabolica, you see that Schrey under a little bit of pressure there from Riccatelli. Riccatelli not able to do too much there as Uverhouse now is going to try and get involved as well. Now the long run down in towards turn number 1 again. So there's some action in the background between the Expo then and indeed the Audi as well. No mistakes now from Ben Green. He has just been relentless today. He's been ruthless in his preparation. He's been ruthless in his qualifying. He's been ruthless in terms of his race pace today as Ben Green. He's got 2 laps here remaining, we believe. As there's a big mistake there from Sophie Hoffman. Yeah, on the brakes on the grass, that's never going to work out. Gets squeezed out by the KTM. It's a little bit naughty from the KTM. And wow, I was talking about a potential mistake here. And it's not happened from the front drivers, but Theo Uverhouse has made a huge mistake then. And wow, as we come then towards the entrance of the Lesmos, it is going to be a fantastic bit of work there from Jan Zimmer. And Jan Zimmer is going to gain that top 6. Great stuff then from Jan Zimmer. And they've got Christopher Rinkin behind them as well. Again, all in the same car, so you're expecting really great things here. And did I just see that Lerner's may have lost the P2 again? So we're going to go back to the cameras here. Is Tregurtha up to P2 again? He is, so Lerner's made a mistake. Lerner has made a mistake once again, and Tregurtha is, well, pounced like a panther. He's taken P2 once again. And yeah, pardon the pun, but you're going to have learned a lot from this, Moritz Lerner, today. That's a fact. Like, regardless of where you finished today, it was a bonus just being in this championship from, you know, winning an esports competition. But to show that you've got true pace to belong here, it's an absolute win for sure. But he'll learn from these little errors and stuff. You know, the drivers ahead of him have got, you know, hundreds of races on him in terms of real cars. So as we come up towards the line here, we are going to head onto the final lap of today's race. Ben Green has got a nice cushion to work with here. Tregurtha second, Lerner in third. And I tell you what, Moritz Lerner then, how late can you go on the brakes here? Can you pinch P2 back? He's going to try and swing it round the outside. Not quite going to work out. Tregurtha straight across the bonnet, as you would expect here. But what about your exit speed now, Lerner? Can you potentially get back on it? And he hasn't. Tregurtha with a fantastic move there, pulling over to the right-hand side of the track as early as possible. It's the shortest route, but also just trying to break that slipstream toe. The perfect scenario here for Tregurtha would be if Schrey could just close up to the back of Moritz Lerner. Doesn't look like it's going to be a thing. As you can see that there's a potential move being made there into the second chicane. As the front 3 will stay as it is. So was the move pulled off? It was. It's a great bit of driving there, actually. So the lead then is indeed Ben Green. Out towards Ascari for the final time today. They've got one more race to go tomorrow. Tregurtha flashing his lights to say, hi, I'm behind you. How you doing? Got a flash of the lights then as well from Jan Zimmer. Like, guys, you can wait till the end of the race. You can go and shake their hands and say, well done, and introduce yourselves. You don't have to do it during the race. That's silly. And I tell you what, Will Tregurtha there, proper jumping over the curbs, taking every inch of the course he possibly can. And I just don't think it's going to quite be enough. And, well, Ben Green, as he comes down in towards Parabolica, he had a terrible, terrible start to last season in round number 1. His qualifying was an absolute mess. He managed to rectify it in race number 2 at Spa, but it's not going to take that long this time out. It's not going to take that long at all. Ben Green, the junior champion of the DTM Trophy last season, well, he is going to take round 1 here at Monza and start the best way possible. P1 in qualifying, 3 points. P1 in the race, 25 points then for Ben Green. In second, then it will be Will Tregurtha on his debut. On his debut, Moritz Lerner will get P3. Michael Schrader in the first time where he's going to be a full-time driver, P4. Riccatelli will take P5. We've then got Jan Zimmer in P6. In P7, then we've got Christopher Rink. We've then got Theo Uverhaus, who's going to take P8. Stallschmidt will take P9. Wiebahn, driver of the day for me, with a top 10 after starting from the back of the grid. Absolutely sensational stuff. Wow, what a race. Hopefully you all on YouTube, you all on DTM.grid enjoyed that race. We've got plenty more action like that coming your way. And actually, as a little bit of fun here, let's all vote for your driver of the day. So type in the chat right now on YouTube, who's your driver of the day? It's not official, but let's do something unofficial on YouTube, shall we? Why not? We can do whatever we want. It's brilliant. But I tell you what, how close those front 3 were during this race, we are in for an absolute classic championship. It's going to be brilliant. So Moritz, Theo, Ben Green, Lerner, Ben Green, Moritz, Sherban, Green, Moritz. Jesus, he wasn't in the race. It's Ben Green, Lerner, Moritz Lerner, Riccatelli, Lerner, Fangio. Don't think he's in the race either. I think we have to give it to Moritz Lerner, don't we? Just about. Not too much between Lerner and Ben Green, but we are going to give the unofficial driver of the day on YouTube to Moritz Lerner. Race winner, though, Ben Green. He won't care about the unofficial result there in terms of driver of the day. 25 points goes his way. Tregurtha, 18 points. Moritz Lerner will take, indeed, 15 as well. Schrey in 4th. Riccatelli, Zimmer, Rink, Uverhaus, Stallschmidt, and Wiebahn as your top 10. Then we've got Theo Uverhaus, Stallschmidt, Wiebahn, Salonen, Koffler, Hull, Gerban, Krahamer, Verdonk, and Hoffman as your finishers here today. Race winner, though, Ben Green. So as they do indeed traverse back towards the pit lane where they will have their little podium ceremonies, you can just tell Ben Green is going to be super, super excited. Again, last season, it just didn't start very well for him. What could have gone wrong went wrong. And then in round 2, he caught fire. Not literally, but in terms of race pace. And he really did show the world what he's capable of. And this time, it's round 1 here at Monza. So Ben Green started the best way possible. Hopefully you enjoyed this footage, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you do indeed subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you do indeed bookmark DTM.grid if you're watching on there, because we have 2 of these races every single weekend. There are indeed going to be 12 rounds this season. It's going to be fantastic, but more to the point, we've got this all again tomorrow. So make sure you come and join us tomorrow. I've been Luke Crane, aka Actual Vision. Hopefully you've enjoyed the DTM Trophy, and now you get to see the podium ceremonies.
Get in there! Sauber gemacht, sauber gemacht.
Sehr schön, wirklich.
Boah.
Hammer. Hammer. Steigt dem eine noch mehr vor. Starting with the third place of Moritz Lerner. The second place is for William Pregurta. That follows for the winning team, FK Performance Motorsport. At the podium. And then the band green is the winner of the race. So it's time for the anthem for the winner. Green. Come on, the trophy up there. Okay, it's time to party. Let's go.